Hey, everybody. So for week 3, I want to come in and provide you with some working examples of using vocabulary and context as a skill. You should be familiar with this assignment from week 1. Dolphins rub against mucus using corals to soothe skin. I'm sure you enjoyed it as much as I did, right? It wasn't too weird, hopefully. Um, Anyhow, moving on. Let's look at this first little highlighted bit here for some vocabulary and context. Here we go. The sentence says, like humans, dolphins sometimes suffered from irritated skin, but instead of lathering on soothing lotion, Indo-Pacific bottlenose dolphins, Tursiopsiduncus, I think I said that right, in the northern Red Sea, head for the nearest coral reef. In this example, I've put in red font, irritated and soothing to indicate that I don't really understand what those mean. But I am noticing that it says that dolphins sometimes suffer from irritated skin, but instead of lathering on soothing lotion, which I understand that because, again, I can infer that soothing lotion is used, it's the opposite, it's an antonym of irritated, so irritated must be the opposite of soothing, whatever that means. The point of vocabulary and context isn't to get a dictionary definition of the word. It's to get you to a place where you can understand what they're saying. If you don't understand what irritated skin is, skin that's red, scratchy, itchy, irritated, if you don't know what that means, then you're not going to understand why they're putting soothing lotion on themselves in the northern Red Sea at the nearest coral reef. So those two words are connected as antonyms to help us determine, just get a general sense of an idea of what they're talking about. Same thing here in green. Maybe I'm not familiar with what patrons are at a popular spa. Patrons, what are patrons? Well, the rest of the sentence says that like they were patrons at a popular spa, dolphins line up. So I can make that connection, that synonym, that example connection, that patrons are people who are lining up at spas because dolphins are lining up to rub themselves against corals and sponges. Again, it's not a perfect definition or understanding, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to help me as the reader understand what's going on. Same thing here if you look over to the right, where it says specific areas of their body on particular specimens. Maybe I don't really understand what that means. I mean, this is a science nonfiction text. There's going to be a lot of the science-based words that I'm not always familiar with. So what do they mean when they or concepts? So what do they mean when they say specific areas of their body on particular specimens? Well, the next sentence goes on to tell us that more sensitive areas, which would be a specific area, are scratched with bushy stalks of the soft Gorgonian coral Rumphella aggregata. Hope I said that right. That would be a particular specimen. Okay, you see the connection? Whereas hardened areas, such as the head and tail fluke, again, another example of a specific area, are scraped on the wrinkled surface of a species of leather coral, okay, in the genus Sarcophyton, and a species of stiff sea sponge in the genus Ursinia. Okay, so there's are two more particular specimens. So using the context of that whole paragraph, I can get a better understanding or feel for what the sentence is telling us. And that's what you're trying to do with vocabulary and context. Again, you're not trying to get the exact definition of every word. You're just trying to get an understanding. And sometimes that's difficult. Like take this, for instance. After running the samples through multiple tests, Morlock and her colleagues identified 17 metabolic compounds that combated multiple strains of bacteria, prevented some damaging cellular processes, and balanced hormones in the dolphin skin. That's one heck of a sentence, and probably not the type of sentence you're used to reading unless you're reading a lot of science journals or medical journals or things of that nature. But also with this sentence too, it's very difficult to come to an understanding of what some of these words mean in the context, right? Like metabolic compounds, what does that mean? Multiple strains of bacteria, okay, multiple meaning a lot, strains, different kinds, prevented some damaging cellular processes. I mean, you have to slow down and really examine the word sometimes, and that's okay. Again, remember, vocabulary and context is about what? It's about coming to a general feel, an understanding of what the passage is about. What does it mean here to deliberately use? Okay. If you don't know that, it's down here in the next part of the sentence. It says, much like a human applying ointment to soothe a rash. So deliberately use humans, if when we apply to soothe a rash, we're doing it on purpose. So deliberately would mean on purpose. That's kind of how that works. I hope this is helpful for y'all. I have hypothesis and posits highlighted in purple for you because those words are very important for your science test. Hypothesis is something you're going to be asked about a lot. What is a hypothesis? A hypothesis is really an inference. It's a testable inference. It's like in this article, the team posits or hypothesizes that the local dolphins congregate near these useful invertebrates to actively treat skin infections. They're making this group of researchers is making an inference based on what they're seeing the dolphins doing. They're going to come in and then test that hypothesis. And that's what you're reading about is the results of that test. So pay attention to those words: hypothesis, posits, experiment. You're going to be seeing them a lot. As always, let me know if you have any questions or concerns or need any additional help or anything from me. I appreciate your time. Thank you.